Hello and welcome to BFS Wargaming. So today we are here to talk about the Catan. We're actually going to talk about all of the known Catan. So we have taken these from White Dwarfs, codexes, all sorts of places from GW. We could find Catan in the lore basically. So we'll start off with a general what the Catan are, and then we'll move on to the individual Catan that we know of, and maybe we could have a guess at what the Catan is that we've seen in the new Necron pictures. It is said that the Catan were created at the very beginning of the universe, spawned from swirling gases and enormous amounts of energy, and as such are etheric creatures by nature. They are vast beings who could cover a star and sap its energy to feed themselves. The matter around them wouldn't even register them being so insignificant to these gods. After millions of years, a race known as the Necron discovered a Catan, feeding on their sun. They found a way to communicate with it and named them the Catan, which means star god. The Necron built necrodermis bodies the Catan could inhabit. Catan were thousands of miles of energy, all squeezed into this smaller form. As we know, the Catan gifted the Necron immortality and stole their souls for food. The Necron became the Necrons, and together they defeated the Old Ones. After this, the Silent King, the Necron leader, took revenge on the Catan and started by destroying one. This, however, ended badly, releasing a virus. From then on, the Necrons shattered the remaining Catan into many shards and used them in battle to power machines such as the Pharos, a machine to help with warp travel. We are now going to talk about all of the known Catan, some of which we have no information, and some we have some information. So to start, Transcendent Catans. Transcendent Catans are Catans bursting with pure elemental energy. Each Transcendent Catan is a collection of anywhere between 12 and 100 lesser shards, and its power far surpasses the sum of its parts. Azagorod, also known as the Nightbringer. The first Catan to encounter the Necrons, the one feeding on their sun, powerful enough to impress its image as that of death itself on the psyche of the younger races, the Nightbringer loved nothing more than feeding on mortal souls. The Crimson God is a Catan shard enslaved by the Necron Novok dynasty. The shard is an unwitting vessel that meets out destruction in battle with its incredible powers, but never quite in the way that the Novok dynasty would wish for. Emberesh, the Sun Eater, held captive by the Zonfar dynasty, who use it as a weapon against their enemies. Hasialangna, we have no further information on this Catan. It's mentioned as a Catan, but that is all we know. Iash Udra, also known as the Endless Swarm, is a Catan noted by the Silent King as deserving of their hate. Trazyn the Infinite personally possesses a shard of Iash Udra. Kaluguru is a Catan now imprisoned as a Catan shard, a horrific engine of destruction in the hands of the Necrons. It was entombed at the personal command of the Silent King during their uprising against the Catan many eons ago. Landu Gor, the Flayer, the only Catan fully obliterated by the Necrons. In his death, cursed the Necrons with the Flayer virus. Hence the Flayed Ones. Okay, next Catan, Magladroth, the Void Dragon. This Catan is probably one of the most talked about Catan. A figure of oblivion, wanton destruction, and devastation, speculated to be the Dragon of Mars. Magladroth is named the Void Dragon in Eldar mythology, which portrays it as a figure of oblivion, wanton destruction and devastation. It was a master of the material realm, and its warriors were practically invincible. While eating stars, it takes the form of a cloud of a dark light. At the end of the Great War, the dragon created the warp suppression pylons, and the Necrons spread a network of them around the galaxy in key locations. The purpose of these devices was to block the old one's source of psychic power, creating an unbreakable barrier between the warp and real space. However, this project was interrupted, and the mechanisms were never finished. In 898 M41, the Necron Aratek dynasty assaulted the Eldar maiden world of Silentia to steal a precious gem that was likely a shard of the Void Dragon. In 1912 M41, the shard escaped, and despite being only a fraction of the creature's former glory, it managed to lay waste to the dynasty and gorge itself on a dozen worlds. Eventually, however, Aratek cryptex were able to force the beast back into its cage. A shard of the Void Dragon may be under Mars. This has never been confirmed, but the Emperor is said to have defeated the Dragon of Mars in M2 and imprisoned it on Mars. Mefretan, the Deceiver. The Catan who made the bargain to turn the Necrontyr into the Necrons. When the Necrontyr first encountered the Deceiver, they gave it the name Mefretran, the Messenger, and hoped it would be able to bridge the gap between the Necrontyr and the Catan. The remaining shards of the Deceiver believe themselves to be in control, fighting alongside the Necrons in order to manipulate them. Nephoran, the Spiral Flame. All we have is this Catan's name. Niadra Zafar, the Burning One, was a Catan who revealed to the Necron how to access the webway with the Dolmen Gates, because it desired to bring his eldritch flame to the webway. A shard of Niadra Zafar was later discovered by Trans in the Infinite on the world of Midgalia. In the ensuing battle, Trans invaded the world and was able to acquire the shard. Ogdriada, known as the Arisen, that's all we know. Also another Catan called Stardeath, and that's all we know. Very cool name though, Stardeath. The next one is the Sufferer, held captive on the Necron tomb world of Silva Tenebris. Tsaranoga, also known as the Outsider. The Outsider is an insane Catan whose gaze causes madness and despair wherever it fell. Those in its presence would rather take their own lives than endure its hellish presence. An approximately 5 million year old prophecy inscribed in by Farstir the Semthril of Ulfanesh Sherway claims that when the living dead rise and the galaxy runs red with the blood of Eldanesh Eula, shall the four Catan rise. The Outsider will then return, being drawn to the fresh harvest. Igrania, the World Shaper, also known as the Moulder of Worlds and the World Maker, is a Catan star god whose thoughts can break apart planets and reshape them into forms more pleasing to itself. Zarhulash, the Potentate, is a Catan. Having since been enslaved by the Necrons, a shard of Zarhulash was used to power the Pharos on Sotha. In his conversations with Belisarius Cawl, Zarhulash considers the Catan the only true gods of the galaxy. He considers the Chaos gods mere etheric disturbances, the Machine God to be a lie, and the Emperor to be a weapon. Zarhulash considers the Necrons to be treacherous children, who the Catan will one day take revenge against. During Belisarius Cawl's experimentations upon the Pharos, Zarhulash came into contact with the Archmagos and agreed to aid him in removing the heart of the Pharos. In exchange, Cawl agreed to remove his shackles of living metal and create a portal with the Pharos to allow him off Sotha. Khal seemingly agreed, but this was a ruse, as he teleported Zahulash to the far end of the galaxy, surrounded by hostile Necron tomb worlds. Zahulash has sworn revenge on Khal for the act. Zul Trinette is a Catan star god that sleeps in the Necron tomb world Trinette. Sometime after the Great Rift's creation, a cabal of Trinette's cryptex attempted to awaken Zul Trinette, but the Imperium soon learns of their plans. As Trinette lies in the northern bounds of Segmentum Solar, the Adeptus Custodes deem Zul Trinette a threat to the Emperor, and the Shield Company invades the tomb world, along with the Knights of the House Krast. While the Knights keep the Necron hordes at bay, the Shield host destroys the cabal of cryptics and prevent Zul-Trinette's awakening. So that is all we have on all of the known Catan. I hope you managed to stay awake in me talking about these star gods. So what could the Catan that we saw with the wings be? Could it be a shard of the Void Dragon? Could it be the Outsider? Could it be the Nightbringer or the Deceiver remodeled? I don't know. It could be the Endless Swarm awakened. It could be the Sun Eater. It could be the Crimson God. All of which would be really, really cool. Yeah, I can't wait to find out which Catan it is. And can't wait to see the rules for said Catan as well. I hope you enjoyed this talk on the Catan. A bit more Necron lore. And we'll see you in the next one. Stay lucky. Thanks guys. Bye.